Lights.
Oh, my goodness. Give me the hot sauce. Neil Thumb. Give me the hot sauce. Derrick Rose can go upstairs. Let me step back and kiss myself. MVP time. Windy City Assassin does it again. Give me the hot sauce. Give me the hot sauce, Thumb.
We have a brand new NBA champion. It's time for episode 38 of Gimme the Hot Sauce. We're back in the Hustle and Flow studios. I want to thank the good folks at Saludos for having us out last week. We had a great time out there, even though John didn't really strike out a lot of people, did he? In the wiffle ball challenge.
You got to swing, though. You
got racked.
You know, the best thing about it was I was looking back at the video. He's got a Brewers uniform on. I mean, what's up with that?
Pants were too tight. He saw
My
his
fantasy
cup.
camp
He saw his
uniform.
cup. You know, it's like, come on. He told me it wasn't a cup.
Was that a cup or a sack or potato? Which one
He
was
was just
it?
happy to see the folks at
Yeah, he was just
Saludos.
happy to see the people at Saludos. Freak.
Making change in a phone booth. I was dealing.
Hey, no, I don't think so, man. It's like
Hey,
a Bob Evans.
We want to thank
Lot of sausage.
the good folks at Bubble Up, the new way to visually organize any kind of content all in one place.
I got
Yeah.
some more new swag.
Yeah, if you watch it on Instagram, you can see. Yeah,
only one with it.
we're waiting for those shirts,
Yeah,
John.
we're-
We promised
he's
those,
got
I think,
one-
20 episodes
He's
ago.
got one every episode. We have not yet to get ours.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that swag. But Bubble Up is a great source for us. We researched the show, get ready to go, and we didn't have to do much research for watching Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Kind of interesting the way the series developed. Phoenix wins the first two games on their home court, and then Milwaukee takes 4 in a row. And Stacey, it kind of gives them some retribution for what happened 2 years ago when they won the first two games against Toronto in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the Raptors took the next 4. I think it was a coming of age of Giannis, and his performance in Game 6, I'd stack that up with any clinching game performance we've ever seen.
Yeah, it was a really like a superstar performance. I mean, that's what your superstars are supposed to do. And not only did he play above the rim defensively to make those free throws. Like,
Yeah, 17 for 19.
Come on now. I mean, if you would have told me, you could have bet the house that he wouldn't make 17
I
and
think
19.
he was hypnotized.
I
think
don't
that's what
know,
must have
man. He
happened.
must have met somebody in the back and they hypnotized him. But I tell you what, man, he hit 17 and 19 free throws was huge. And so be able to do that, and then also getting a great performance from Bobby Portis, a former Bull.
16 points.
You know, they had some contributions. Pat Connaughton stepped up big for him down the stretch, hit some threes. And Drew Holiday, again, another stellar job defensively. And then Chris Middleton. You know, Chris Middleton has shown, you know, that he is the number 2 guy there. He's the number 2 guy to Giannis' number 1, and that's a deadly combination. And you throw in, you know, Drew Holiday, who understands his role as the point guard and leader of that team as far as, you know, getting him in their sets defensively. You got a great combination of players.
I think the ebbs and flows of the series were so interesting. I mean, since we came to you last, we did the show at Saludos last Thursday, and the series was tied at 2-2. Milwaukee goes down to Phoenix. They're getting killed in the first quarter. They're down by 16 points, and they come back. They took the lead by halftime. And then in Game 6, Milwaukee's up by 13 after the first quarter, and Phoenix takes the lead at halftime. It just was a kind of a weird series. You know, you didn't really have a flow to it. It was a game of runs, and Giannis really kept Milwaukee in it in Game 6 because Holiday was 4 for 19 from the field in Game 6. They weren't really getting any contributions from a lot of their support players. Giannis carried them. I mean, if Giannis isn't playing at a superstar level, that series is going back to Phoenix for Game 7.
Well, Mark, think about this. I mean, the gruesome injury that he had in the Atlanta series, I don't think anyone thought he was even going to be able to play, you know, because that was a nasty injury, and just goes to show you the elasticity of him, plastic man.
Yeah.
I mean, because that would have knocked anybody else out of the series. And, you know, when I saw that happen, I was like, oh, man, he's probably got some major knee ligaments tore up. And to be able to bounce back, you could tell when he first came back, he wasn't the Giannis. He was kind of a little apprehensive, and you could expect that. Why wouldn't he be? You know, I mean, he had a devastating injury in the series before against Atlanta. And then once he started just playing, you could tell like he was going back to being Giannis, the attacking. I think the biggest thing that hurt Phoenix, and no one's really talked about this too much, because you don't want to take away from what Milwaukee has done. You know, they earned it. They won. They were the better team. But when Sarge went out for Phoenix, that really, really hurt the Suns because it took away a guy who could come in the game and spell Ayton when Ayton wasn't playing well or he needed a rest, a guy that could post up, could stretch the defense. that really, really hurt the Suns because he played really well before he went out, and he was having a great playoff series. Throughout the playoffs. And so him going down, it made them smaller. They had no depth at the center position. You had to bring in Frank Kaminsky to play.
Played okay in Game 6.
He played okay in Game 6, but this is a guy who hasn't played a lot.
Right.
Yeah. And so you have to count on him now because Sarge was playing a lot of minutes off the bench, and he gave you a lot of different looks because he was such a good three-point shooter. He's a better three-point shooter than Ayton, which opens up the floor, which allows Chris Paul and Booker to have angles to drive. Same thing with all the other players. I mean, when you have the floor so open because you take the big man out, you start to have driving lanes. And those driving lanes were not there with Ayton because Ayton would have to pick and roll. He could hit a 17-footer, but he's more consistent driving to the basket, which in turn you take your defender there. The Bucks defensive players rim protectors were there, and it made it hard for them to drive.
When we were leaving Saludos, you mentioned Saludos. King, they asked King, I think it was your son, Timmy, said, give us a prediction, King. And he said, Bucks in 6.
Bucks in 6.
Thank you.
Bucks in 6.
I just want to say America.
Yeah, Bucks in 6.
America.
Coach Bud listens to our podcast.
Okay, we have someone in here now. We have Southside just coming in here now with her little Milwaukee jersey on.
There were other people smoking cigars.
Yeah.
It wasn't us.
Yeah. You don't want to know.
She's got her Giannis shirt on.
She's supporting good. Now. She's supporting. Yeah, she met Giannis.
Yeah, up close and personal.
She went to go to Chick-Fil-A and decided that she wanted to go get stalking him. Yeah. But she said she was there to get some chicken, the little nuggets, and saw Giannis. Happened to see Giannis there, and all of a sudden, and then her son Patrick showed up, and then the neighbors showed up, and
national TV star.
Yeah,
Dog mom.
Yeah,
dog mom.
Yeah, dog mom.
Dog.
Hey, what was Giannis doing that far away from home? I mean, he's all the way out in the Brookfield area. I mean, he lives. I don't know exactly where he lives, but he's nowhere near the Fiserv Forum at that point.
Chick-fil-A. I mean,
is it the only one in the Milwaukee area?
No, there's several, but that's off the.
But that's a nice area.
It's a very nice area. It's off the highway. There's a Target, which apparently he shops at. Yeah, and it's easy for him to get in and get out. And he had the 2 trophies with him, so, he didn't want to go too far off the freeway.
Giannis needs to save some cash by shopping at Target, right?
Yeah.
And he did. It wasn't 48 or 49.
They charged him for the nuggets?
Well, I don't know. Patrick said that.
You're off mic, Susie.
Yeah, can you?
That was 50 nuggets, too.
This is a podcast. We need the audio.
I'm not sure if he actually paid, but she goes, that'll be 67 whatever.
Good. Charge the man.
Yeah, charge him. He makes
got plenty of money.
$25 million a year.
He's all right.
Come on. No, you got to
give her a nice tip too.
You got to pay it for the meal. I'm sorry.
Do you pay
you know what Giannis said, Stacey? He said, I don't turn nothing down but my collar.
But, let me tell you, exactly. Susan, let me tell you why sometimes we don't pay for meals. You got to win multiple titles. You got to win 3 titles. You got to win 6 out of 8. Okay, that's when. Beep. Where's the FCA? Where she just comes in here. She comes in here late and she's talking trash.
Hey, the FCC has no control of her podcast.
Okay,
We're
sorry.
good.
All right, you're good,
whatever we
Susan.
want. We just give the warning. This may be for mature audiences.
Yes. Beep,
there's your warning.
Beep. Southside just comes in here complaining.
Fire.
She comes in here just complaining about the cigar smoke, and
it wasn't even us. We took it outside to make sure there was no cigar smoke in here.
Yeah, it wasn't me, Susan. I came in. I thought
I know she would have been complaining about what the we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
But that's a whole different show.
Yeah, it's a whole different show. It was kind of like a Cheech and Chong movie when I walked in here. I was like, hey, what the hell's going on here in the Hustle and Flow studio?
It's all legal, Stacey.
Southside's only getting a fine for the dog mom shirt.
Did she have a dog mom shirt on?
Yeah, and she had a fanny pack.
Oh, she had. Yeah. She did. I did see that. I was like,
that cost you style
at
points
first,
there.
Before I knew it was Susan, I said, who's that crazy lady out there?
How embarrassing is that? I had a dog munch. I looked totally busted.
Yes, you did.
I had. Thank you. I had a fanny pack on.
What'd you tell Giannis?
Yeah.
What? Oh, that was so embarrassing.
In your parachute pants.
Yeah, she had a
who gets a drink without ice? That's what you said, right?
No, I'm not. No.
What'd you tell him?
Well, I was standing there.
I love you, Giannis.
I felt like
You're
I had
the
to
best.
say. I go, you're so awesome,
Yanni.
God.
Yanni. Good here.
Hey, G-Man, you're so awesome.
How are your nuggets?
Oh, no. See, now you'd expect that from Tim. If he wouldn't have said that, we'd have been disappointed.
See, you just went below the belt.
Nothing of the sort.
You just went below the belt there. That's uncalled for in whispers.
But, hey,
I'm not sorry.
Giannis ordering that drink. He says, soft drink, half Sprite, half lemonade.
That's my favorite drink.
You know what?
Favorite
Arnold
drink.
Palmer came up with the half lemonade,
Iced tea.
Half iced tea.
Yep.
Giannis is going to make millions of
Let me
dollars
tell you
selling a
something.
half Sprite,
Let me
half
tell you something,
lemonade.
America.
Giannis.
America, let me tell you something. I've been making that drink for years. I
you
used
go.
the pink lemonade with
Oh,
Sprite.
the pink.
Yes, half and half. Ask any restaurant I've ever been at. They'll tell you. Stacey
No
King's
ice?
been no ice. Stacey King's been ordering that drink for years.
Actually,
half
they
and
did
half.
call it the king at Julio's. What was that place we used to like, you want the king?
Yeah, the king
They
drink,
said that
baby.
to
You should have
I've been-
copyrighted it.
I've been doing it, but
Damn.
you know what? I've always said, I said, man, that'd be pretty cool if somebody like Sprite would make a half and half.
Yeah.
Sprite did do it. And I don't think it was very popular. They took it off, but they did do it
Yeah,
a
they
few
tried
years
it with
ago.
LeBron.
Yes, they
Remember?
tried it. They tried it with LeBron.
that's the
It
problem,
was a few years, and it didn't take off. Oh, there's a hater in the
Hater.
house. Hater in the house.
We got the movie review coming up later.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Can't wait
Jesus.
for that.
Oh, my God. Oh, man.
Toe jam.
Minus 2 stars. Minus 2 stars, America. Minus 2 stars. Well, you guys are a bunch of haters, man. Don't hate a man. Don't hate the game.
Yeah, LeBron was there for Game 5 in Phoenix. He saw his buddy Chris Paul go down in defeat. And Booker, he was fantastic in the series, but in the Game 6, 8 for 22, 0 for 7 from the three-point line. As you mentioned, in the last couple of minutes, he had 2 good looks at threes, which could have kept Phoenix in the game.
Mark, this is what I always say against great players is you saw they were picking Booker up every single time he got the ball past half court. They were
Drew
picking him
Holiday.
up. They were picking him up when he came off screens. They were forcing him to put the ball. And when you have to work that hard to beat a defender, and then you got also it's a team defense. So when you beat one, there's still 3 or 4 other guys there that are there in position to help, whether it be at the elbow when you drive and getting a hand down there. You saw how many times did you see Drew Holiday get steals that way? That's the defense you got to play if you want to be a championship caliber team. And Milwaukee is one of the best defensive teams in the league. I mean, they do play defense. And then you get Giannis playing at the center spot. Now you can switch him anywhere. Where they were having problems with Brook Lopez, they now put Giannis at the 5 spot. And now you can switch all 5 players.
And he's switching
at every
on Chris
position.
Paul because they were running that 1-5 pick and roll.
Exactly. Now, did Chris Paul score on him a couple times? Yeah, but he had to really work to score because of his length.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have Giannis at the 5, man, in a playoff series, you can't do that during the regular season a lot. But during the playoff games, you want to kind of junk the game up a little bit and try to equalize what Phoenix was doing. And you saw, as agile as Ayton was, he couldn't stop Giannis. When Giannis took him to the deep end, took him out to the deep water, and got out to that 3-point line and got to dancing, and it just takes one dribble to get to the rim. I mean, you can't stop that.
Hey, Stacey, real quick. Have you ever seen a performance like that, though?
Oh, Giannis?
For in a clinching game. I mean, that's right up there with Magic Johnson against the Sixers when he was a rookie and he had to play center when Kareem was out. MJ with his 45 points against the Jazz in '98.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, it's up there with one of the greatest performances of all time. And here's what I say about the kid. Like I said this on Twitter the other day. He's a guy you want to root for. Mm-hmm. He's the most humble, next to Derrick Rose. I consider him and Derrick Rose 2 of the most humble players in the NBA as far as having this superior talent, but respect the game. They respect their teammates. They respect everything about the game. And one of the things I remember when he came in as a rookie, because Jabari Parker got all the hype coming out of Duke, and he was the high pick, and everyone thought that, he was going to be the guy. And then Giannis was kind of an afterthought. And it's he's an athlete, but, he's raw. It's going to probably take him 5 years, to reach his potential. I remember this kid was late to a game. Their announcers were telling us this story. He was late to a game. He missed his ride or whatever his rookie year. And he ran all the way from his home.
But you know why he was late?
Why?
He sent all his money home.
Yeah, because he's sending all his money home to his parents.
He had no way to get.
He had no way to
Right.
get to the arena. But the thing is, he ran to the arena. I don't know how far it was. It had to be a pretty good distance. That's what they said. It was probably like 10 miles. He ran like 10 miles and then played in the game that night. That's pretty impressive. And to see how he's developed his game. Think about when the Bulls played them, when they took us to 7 games. And you had that Dunleavy, foul. That I mean, they've been on the rise ever since that series. And Giannis, this Milwaukee team, think about this. This Milwaukee team has been very, very good the last 3 or 4 years. They've easily could have been in the finals last year in the bubble. They should have at least been challenging for it. The year before they were good as good as well. They lost to Toronto and they had a 2-0 lead. So they've been right there on the cusp. The difference of this team was they went out and got some players with toughness. Because they were just too nice. They were too nice. Giannis is a great player, but they were just too nice. You go out there and you get Drew Holiday, who I'm not taking anything away from Eric Bledsoe, but Eric Bledsoe wasn't
take something away from Eric Bledsoe.
He was not the point guard for this team. Okay, so you bring a guy like Holiday in as a two-way player.
Yeah.
Okay, big guard, two-way player. You go out and you get PJ Tucker in the trade deadline. Go grab him. Toughness, hard-nosed player, been in these kind of games before, a street fighting type of guy.
Bobby Portis.
Then you go out and you get Bobby Portis. So you had 3 guys that were not on your roster the last 3 years that has really solidified your toughness. And not only are they tough, but they can play. They contribute. They're not on the bench waving towels and they're contributing. And then you got a guy like, Connaughton. That sometimes, he looks like he's the best player on the floor, and there's other times he can't hit the bucket.
Sometimes looks like Tim Kelly.
Yeah. Over here. Tim. See, Tim. See, Tim.
I'm still a dog, too. Don't
Tim, it wasn't me saying it. See, Tim. So, but it's 30 years of abuse. So it's 1 year abuse from Mark.
Just 1 year now from Mark. But
I'll get you a shirt.
We'll get to 30.
Hey, I just want to say, that 2015 postseason, the Bulls had the best record. So they were a 1 seed. And I remember, I live in Milwaukee, and we went up 0-3.
Right.
3-0, excuse me. And I can remember saying to Paschke and the guys, hey, it's good seeing you guys.
Yeah, see you next year.
And then they won.
Yeah. Okay. And then they won again.
And then we were like, hey, yep, good seeing you guys. And then won again. And then they ended up losing.
The curse of Michael Carter Williams.
They ended up losing in game 6.
He had Michael Carter Williams had a great series again. He was going at D Rose.
Remember the Jason Kidd play?
Yeah.
To win. I think it was must have been game 4.
And the Bulls beat him by 50 in Game 6, I think.
They did.
In Milwaukee,
and then
they started getting excited.
Then you had the Dunleavy situation with Giannis.
Yeah.
And that really kind of just solidified the Bulls winning that series. But you could tell right then and there that they were on their way. If they can get some help around him, and that's give them credit, man, because I keep telling people this all the time, man, because we're in a league now where people think you need 3 superstars to win. Because you've seen it the last few years, 3 superstars. You don't need 3 superstars, okay? Because if you sign 3 superstars, first of all, that takes all your cap room. And then you're not able to put complementary players that can actually help you.
Right.
You're basically just getting anybody off the street, like at, John's liquor store. Hey, man, you ever shot a basketball? We can't afford to pay you, but then,
John's liquor store.
Come on out, John's liquor store. Yeah, come on.
What's that?
Come on
John's.
out. It's John's liquor
That's
store.
where you find Tim Kelly at John's liquor store.
Can you get Riesling there?
Yeah, Riesling.
So you got to go to Germany for that.
You got to go to Germany, not Ohio, John. Yeah, America. Let me just tell you this quick story, America. So America, I bring some Riesling wine in today, right? And so I bring it in the flask like a wino. They didn't know what was in there. In the flask. So
he's going high class.
So our friend Stinger over here, me and Mark was talking. We're talking, Riesling wine. And so, John's going to try to be funny. Yeah, so he's gonna make a comment about the Riesling wine. Yeah, Riesling wine. Where's it about? In Ohio or Texas? Like, no, man, Riesling is a German wine. No, Germans don't make Riesling wine.
And then
America.
I checked myself.
America. No, you didn't. Me and Sanowski
right away.
checked them.
Riesling. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, Riesling.
He Googled it.
Yeah, he Googled it. And then he threw up some stuff.
Wines.
He threw up some other stuff we don't want to talk about on air. This is threw up about Adolf Hitler's favorite wine or something,
Hey, thanks for bringing up the class of this show. I really appreciate that. Because I bring it down.
John's already worked a full day. He was in Milwaukee directing.
He was at work at 5 this morning.
I know, the parade and the rally.
Man.
And, you mentioned about the Bucks being a bunch of nice guys, and that really reflected itself in the whole parade and rally. The guys get up. You remember all the crazy stuff happened when you were playing with the Bulls, guys saying all this crazy stuff. Everybody politely answered the questions, and they were politically correct, and Giannis is very soft-spoken. The only guy who was crazy was PJ Tucker. He was chugging champagne and spitting it out of his mouth. And,
Yeah.
so they had to bring in a tough guy, And, to have that personality. And I think that helped him to have a guy like that.
Zora asked him to do it again. I was like,
and
hello.
he did.
I know,
and he
but
did.
what was she
Yeah, but secretly he won't be back next year because of those antics. that's a little bit too much for the Milwaukee front office. They're like, okay, he took it a little bit too far.
Yeah, they don't drink in Milwaukee.
Yeah, they don't drink. Yeah, they're not drinking wine in Milwaukee. They're beer drinkers there. So if he would have had some beer, he would have been fine, like some old Milwaukee or
Should have
Blue
the
Ribbon.
Should have the champagne of beers.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah, there you go. Look at
So,
Southside.
Stacey, take us behind the scenes of some of the Bulls victory parties at Grant Park. Tell us your favorite memories of those
What are we
those
rating?
great
Oh
rallies.
man, you don't want to know about the strippers, do you? Oh, I'm sorry.
if you want to tell that story.
I'm sorry, America.
What the little people? We heard about that before, too.
America.
I got called out for a bullshit,
America.
and you're going to throw that
Listen,
out?
America, I'm sorry. That slipped. I had no filter there. I'm sorry about that. No, I'm gonna tell you what. I was watching a little bit of the parade today, and in Milwaukee, and I was just thinking about. I was like, wow. Like I remember Grant Park and how exciting that was. Especially the first time you win. But their parades don't even compare to the Bulls parades. I mean, we had way many people there. And it was just, I remember just getting to Grant Park. It seemed like it took a week just to get to Grant Park because it was like so many people like lining the streets and everything. And I tell you what, we were all tore up before we even got up there. We were drinking on the way over there, baby. And when we got up there, it was showtime, man.
Didn't you have that iconic phrase that second year?
I don't remember. I
believe they call it "Hoop." There it is.
Oh, whoop! Oh, yeah. I did say that. I did say that. But that came from a rap song. But
It did, but it became part of the lexicon after that.
And then we, it was just a lot of fun. I just remember seeing all the faces out there in Grant Park and the energy that was there. And I remember, when we won our first two. I remember all the fans chanting, 3-peat, 4-peat, 5-peat. You start hearing all this, and you're like, "Do you people know how hard it is just to win one?"
Yeah,
And then you go back and hindsight's 2020. You think about like those people were right because the Bulls easily could have won 8 in a row. And it could have happened. 6 out of 8 is not bad. So the only thing I think about this Milwaukee team, like I said, I really really like Giannis. He's a guy you root for. It just sucks that they're right down the road. That was my only thing. Because we were always the big brother to their little brother. We were on the Bulls. We used to bring in half the fans in that arena were cheering for Bulls. And they still were doing it up until like the last couple of years. And now the Milwaukee fans have kind of engulfed the Bulls fans. But it used to be what we call that Chicago North or something. And it was like, UC North. And we always had more fans. And now we were the big brother. We were the big brother. They were the little brother. And now they won a title.
In the Chick-Fil-A line, the fans were just, you saw the whole thing. They were going crazy. And his girlfriend goes, "Oh, is it going to be like this all the time now?"
Hey,
all the time.
Hey, look, you need to be happy where you're at. Hey,
I thought it was
enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Because
the answer is yes.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. It can turn on you very quickly.
I know.
So you need. That's what I would tell. Like, enjoy the moment because as soon as they don't win again and he has a bad series, a game, and next thing you know, those same people that were outside, "We love you, Giannis, G-Man." The lady with the dog shirt, I love dogs with the fanny flag. She'll be out there throwing barbecue sauce. Here's some sauce with your nuggets. You piece of.
Give me the hot sauce, Giannis.
Yeah, here's some hot sauce for you, Giannis.
And you can pick up your hot sauce at
$67.
And if you go to GimmeTheHotSauce.com, Giannis, you can get your own hot sauce.
Yeah,
we should send him
Chick-Fil-A lamb chicken would taste a lot better, wouldn't it, Stace? With some hot sauce?
With the barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
The barbecue sauce
that'd be great.
Oh, my goodness.
There's a special holder in a G-Wagon just for our hot sauce.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
I'm not sure what that meant.
Well, he was driving a G-Wagon.
Oh, okay. I got you.
From Mercedes, and there is a special holder for our hot sauce.
There you go.
We talked to Mercedes last year about preparing that.
Yeah, we talked to Mercedes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had them build a special space for our sauce.
Because it's about driving safely and having your hot sauce.
Yes, exactly. You can have, and she'll
So
like it
Giannis
too.
has got his own drink. Now he's got to endorse Give Me the Hot Sauce. That's his next move.
I'm already
right there.
I'm already putting
We're
the
right
patent
there,
on that
Mark.
drink right now. I'm already putting the patent on that drink. It's already in the works right now.
Were you over in Germany with that when you went to the Mercedes plant and then stopped by the Riesling?
With hot sauce.
You know what?
Thanks. So, They go together.
You know what? The guy with the bubble up shirt that continually has new gear every week. You need to be quiet over there, John.
These just came in the mail from Porsche.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
See,
nice.
yeah,
Porsche.
Yeah, we need to talk to Porsche. Portia, we're gonna have you over there giggling like a little mouse. We're gonna have to talk to Portia because last time we talked to Portia, she promised us. I'm gonna get you guys some
she was
gear.
gonna come through. I'll send her.
Man,
Bubble
Portia.
Up, the Cloud reimagined, and getting some gear for Stacey King. Just want to ask you one more question about Giannis. The work he did in those post-game press conferences and pre-game. I mean, when you think about the fact English is his second language and the way he captivated a country with the thing when he gave the speech about, talking about the past is your ego and the future is your pride and the present is your humility. I mean, that was amazing stuff. I mean, it's almost like somebody wrote that for him. It was really unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, how can you not like the guy? I mean, if you go back and you listen to any of his interviews, when they interviewed him when he first came into the NBA, when he was playing in the overseas, and they were talking about, what do you expect coming to the NBA? He said, I want to be great. I want to be considered a great player. And he just carried himself differently, even as a 19-year-old. And then if you look all throughout the years, he never says anything that makes you go, why would he say that? He always, it seems like it's always well thought out, especially for a guy whose English is second language. He speaks what's on his mind, but it comes off very good and it comes off very genuine. And I think that's why people really like him. And then when you heard him say that he didn't need to go to a super team, all the people on the super team was like, you dirty mud. You sorry. Why would you say that? I hate
shot
that
at
guy.
LeBron across the bow.
And then James Harden situation said that he'll never win because all he does is dunk. And now he's got a title, and James Harden doesn't.
Remember when they had the All-Star draft? Giannis said, "I'm not going to take Harden because I want somebody who passes."
But he was trying to be funny, but because his language, it didn't come off as funny. You know, so like if it had been like one of us who said it, and the way we would have said it, just the way it came out of our mouths would have been funny. But for him, he was trying to be funny, but in his language, like his English is his second language, it didn't come off as funny. It came off as a slam to James Harden. Like, I'm not picking you because you never pass. We want somebody on the team who's going to pass. So James Harden took that offense and has been like kind of killing him ever since, and saying that you're never going to win a title because all he can do is dunk.
He does have a nice way of saying going to the bathroom though.
Oh, that was cute. Did you hear that?
Do the tinkle.
Oh, the tinkle. Did you say the tinkle? The tinkle?
How do you
trying
say
to be polite.
tinkle?
Yeah, that was.
And I love the relationship with his brother.
Oh yeah,
Thanasis
whole
unfortunately
family
could not be there the last two games because of health and safety protocols.
Yeah.
Even at the parade, he was in his own vehicle.
You know what though? Because I went to the parade and I started at the Fiserv.
Of course you did. You've been stalking Giannis for days.
Look at this woman.
Well, okay, now I'm going to look even
Southside.
worse because
No
I
longer
walked the
Southside.
parade route backwards until I saw them. I took some pictures, and then of course I left. And I was walking back to my car, and guess what? I passed his brother on the side of the road, parked illegally, by the way, in his SUV.
Oh, way to snitch, Susan. Way to snitch. Way to get the guy a ticket.
I was like, holy
And Mark,
smokes.
he only had 4 of the Infinity Stones.
Hey, and she's not Susan anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, she's no longer Susan. She's Karen. Karen, the person that tells people.
that was cool.
Karen told on Giannis's brother
That was
illegally parked on the road. Yeah.
Stacey, if you were watching, he zoomed in from that same parking
First of all, it's not
location.
my team, and I'm not watching them, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, America.
Stinger was directing the parade.
I didn't know
good
Stinger was
God.
directing it,
But
but
hold
all
on a second, I got to check my email for
all
another
I'm gonna say-
NBA TV just said unbelievable job. Hold on.
Oh my God!
Another Emmy in the works, right,
yeah.
John?
Yeah,
They were-
he got
you
a
gotta clear out
drone.
more
He had a
space.
drone
They
out
were
there.
cheering
I can smell
Bucks
it.
in 6, but outside the TV truck, they were going Emmy.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
John got some shout outs during the broadcast, too.
He did.
Talking about his great
they
work.
appreciate John up here. He didn't get that same appreciation other than by me. I was the only one. I was the only one that appreciated John's
Certainly not
talents.
Neil Funk.
That's true.
It was nobody in the truck, nobody in the
Anybody else you want to shout out?
nobody else in the office above all of us. No one appreciated
Not a soul.
John Walsh's talent. I've been saying this all along. He's an Emmy Award producer, and we let him slip to our hands like sands
Like
of time.
Bobby Portis.
Yeah, it's just man. Oh,
That's a good one.
John, do you get a ring?
I'm not sure. I haven't been fitted yet. I haven't been
He got
sized
a
yet.
ring from the Diamondbacks, and then the Cubs he got a watch, which
I had a watch.
was kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
That was
that
my
is.
second bullshit.
That is. Yeah, that is terrible. You should have got a ring for that too.
Yeah, I got a nice watch though.
Yeah, Thanos is now trying to steal that championship stone.
Tim is frozen in time.
Oh my God.
He's still trying to go back to the Avengers.
Oh, my
trying to
God.
revive Iron Man. Iron Man, you okay? Iron Man,
Hey, you
come
brought
on,
up-
you can't die.
You brought up Pokemon. You brought up first mark the other day, and I loved it.
Okay.
All right, one more thing on the finals before we get on to Jade Adande. We know that Chris Paul is going to be fine with his State Farm commercials, but is he going to be playing for the Lakers with LeBron next year? I mean, he'd have to take a huge pay cut if he wants to do that.
I tell you what, man, I wouldn't. I mean, the West. Listen, they had everything set up for them this year. Let's just be honest. I mean, they had a great season from start to finish.
Yeah.
They were the best team, but really, are they the best team? I mean, because if you think about it, the road to the title was there for them. You had the Lakers; they were not at full strength when they played in the first round. They ended up playing the Lakers in the first round, which on normal situation, if those guys are healthy in the Lakers, they
don't get out of that series.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then you look at Utah. Utah gets beat by the Clippers. Okay.
Yeah.
So you knocked the second best team out. The Clippers did. Okay. But they lose Kawhi Leonard. So now, you beat Denver without Murray. Okay. If Murray's there, do they beat them? I don't think so.
Toss up, yeah.
Then you got the Clippers
without
Kawhi in the Western Conference Finals, and you got to rely on guys like Luke Kennard and Reggie Jackson, and you're missing arguably the top 3-4 player in the game with a knee injury.
Right.
And so they were able to get through that series, and that was a tough series for him. Paul George almost kind of wheeled him through that. So this was the year I thought it was really set up for them to win. And I thought honestly, you look at Milwaukee. Milwaukee's in the same situation. They're still, to me, they're a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. There's no way in the world if Kyrie Irving's healthy, James Harden is healthy.
Kevin Durant had smaller shoes.
I don't think they beat Brooklyn because they barely beat them with just a Kevin Durant.
Think it's the 1 inch of his foot over the line. Otherwise, Milwaukee's out.
And think about it. I mean, they lose game 6 almost by 40 points. They get blown out. Now there's a game 7, and Kyrie Irving's not playing in game 7. James Harden was never right. Even when they went and they made the trade from Houston, he wasn't in shape, and then it really paid off in the end for the Milwaukee because now he's got hurt hamstrings. He can't play. He's not, and they had him out there just being a decoy, and it didn't work. But Kevin Durant almost single-handedly took Brooklyn to the finals on his own. And if he would have had Kyrie Irving, maybe Milwaukee doesn't win that series.
One last thing, I saw somebody on Twitter posted the old State Farm commercial that I referenced earlier about. You remember Oscar from The Office was the co-star in those, and they had a thing where I didn't know you played for the Bucks, and they had a buck come into his garage and scratch his car, knock the bowling balls down. Over. That was prophetic.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
I remember that. I remember that when that happened.
Probably like 7-8 years ago.
Chris Paul was not playing for them at that time. No. He was playing for like either the Clippers.
The Clippers.
Yeah, he was playing for the Clippers. Yeah. And then then you see this buck coming in, and it's like scratched him with his horn, stepped on the car, went on top of the roof of the car, knocked over the bowling ball, and it was like I saw that same tweet. I was like, wow, I totally forgot about that. That was kind of sums
up what Chris Paul's life's been. He's the only player been up 2-0 in a best-of-7 series and lost 4 times.
I think it was a jinx to LeBron being there.
Whoa, how about
seriously?
I think that was kind of cold too.
You know what? I mean, I
don't think officiating played a part in that.
Listen, I'm going back to LeBron being the jinx. LeBron showing up in a pivotal game 5, sitting courtside with his liquor. He
always brings that with him. Yeah.
Okay, but here's my thing. Okay, he had liquor. I don't know why he's got some stake in some liquor. I don't know if it's tequila.
He brought his own Riesling.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Riesling. It wasn't Riesling. And America, it wasn't Riesling because he wouldn't drink Riesling. But he had his own bottle, and it's funny they spent so much time taking a picture of his bottle. That he had underneath his seat. First of all, I didn't know you could bring alcohol into the arena.
I don't think you
can't.
How do you let?
Who's going to tell LeBron that he can't do it?
Well, somebody's going to have to answer to that because it's like you're not. If no one can bring that, why is he able to bring that? And then he put it right up under his seat where you got free advertisement for it.
He's the star of Space Jam 2.
He just became the first active NBA player to be a billionaire. So he's laughing at a big pile of money, Stacey.
You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Susan. Rules are rules, and when now the point is like
Stacey would snitch on him if he had to.
I sure would. I'll drop dime on him in a minute. The question is Chris Paul, if he doesn't come to the Lakers and he doesn't sign with the Lakers, will LeBron kick him off the banana boat?
I think he would. Yeah.
If he doesn't come to the Lakers and he's a free agent and take the pay cut and come play with LeBron, finish out his career and try to win a ring, will LeBron kick him off the banana boat?
Yeah, I think Chris Paul, he's the president of the Players Association, and he's always tried to advise players, take the best deal that you can get, go for the most money. He's not taking a $40 million pay cut to play with LeBron.
No.
He ain't doing that.
And he's in he's in a great situation in Phoenix. He's got a good young nucleus. They're gonna listen. They're going to do whatever they need to do to get better, but they've got some really nice pieces.
And they got experience now.
They've got some experience getting to the finals. Booker showed everyone that he is a legit superstar player. And Ayton showed you stretches.
Ayton and Bridges are going to get better.
They're going to get better. I don't know what they're going to do with Jay Crowder. I like Jay Crowder.
Yeah,
See, that's the kind of guy that I think the Bulls need to go out and get. A guy that can play defense on multiple positions, can knock down three-point shots, that is not afraid to mix it up.
Can draw fake fouls.
I mean, they all went to the Chris Paul action school, man.
He studied drama at Marquette.
Forget Marquette. They went to Chris Paul University because every one of them act just like Chris Paul.
Yeah.
They all flop. Right. Every single one. Yeah. I'm like, oh man, he must be holding class after practice.
I'm a sniper in the third.
So sniper Lee Harvey in the third row, section 230. Wow. Chris Paul, if you're listening, that was Mark Janowski saying that you're a flopper.
Just add him to the list. Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond. I got all kinds of NBA guys around the league looking for me.
Drummond's on his way.
Let's go back to Vladdy.
No, Drummond's looking for Mark. That's why we switch days now. We used to have our location on Tuesdays, but now we're switching days, so Andre will never know where we're at.
Let the record show I was right about both Drummond and Blake Griffin. All right? They're sitting at home watching the Milwaukee Bucks celebrate a championship. And for someone who grew up, born and raised in Milwaukee, I'm loving every second of it.
I'm drinking some Reese on that
one. Real geniuses.
Welcome back. Gimme the Hot Sauce, episode 38. You know, it's funny, we were talking at the beginning of the show about the fact that, I grew up in Milwaukee and rooting for the Bucks, and no matter how old you get, you still hold on to those allegiances you have as a young kid. I remember the first Bucks championship. I hate to admit how old I am, but if anybody can do math, you can figure it out. I was in 8th grade when the Bucks won the championship in 1971, and a bunch of my friends and I, one of the friends' moms drove us down to Mitchell Field to greet the Bucks as they came back from Baltimore. They swept the Bullets in 4 straight games. That team was Earl Monroe, Wes Unseld, Jack Marin, Gus Johnson. A good team, but the Bucks just destroyed them. 4-0. They came back to Mitchell Field, and it was 1971, so it was a much different time, much quieter time, and you could go anywhere you wanted in the airport. And I think they let us out on the tarmac basically to greet the flight coming back. And we got a couple of autographs. I got John McLaughlin, the original Buck, who was a broadcaster there for decades. And Oscar Robertson came through real quickly, and he had a great advantage because for his autograph he just said Big O. That's what you got. You got Big O, so you didn't get the whole name, but that's something that I treasured. I still have that somewhere.
Oh,
and
probably in Stinger's.
In his tub in his basement.
Probably stole it from him.
But you think back to when you're a grade school kid, and how much you cared about your favorite sports teams and how you lived and died with every outcome. I remember even when I was even younger with the Vince Lombardi Packers, they won 3 straight NFL championships. And at that point, I really didn't understand exactly what was going on, but I knew how important it was to my father. And they used to play playoff games in Milwaukee, and it was a whole different time back then. It wasn't every game's on TV. We had to go across the street to a bar. The game was in Milwaukee, so it was a playoff game against the Los Angeles Rams, and it was blacked out in Milwaukee. So they had an antenna on the bar to pick up a broadcast feed from Madison, Wisconsin. And so we watched the Pack, and I'm 5 or 6 years old in a bar watching this game.
Wow.
So that's why I'm drinking during the podcast.
Wow.
So I didn't mean for this segment to turn into True Confessions, but I guess it did.
Wow.
So the idea here was that you form your fan allegiances very early on. So the Bucks winning this championship a couple of days ago brought back memories of the Bucks winning a championship in 1971 when I got a chance to go to Mitchell Field and see my heroes come back. And, Stacey, being a part of 3 championship teams, you got a chance to experience it on the other side. But I'm sure as a kid growing up, you had a fandom for certain teams, and you lived and died on those outcomes as well.
Oh, yeah. Growing up in Oklahoma, of course, there was Oklahoma football, and then there was Dallas Cowboys. That was the closest pro team to us. And to be able to watch the Dallas Cowboys, America's team,
Right.
America,
Yeah.
America's team. Okay. It really every play with Roger Staubach, you were just like, if the Cowboys were down 3 touchdowns, you knew they were coming back. Oh, yeah. Roger the Dodger is bringing them back. He's bringing them back. He's bringing them back. Drew Pearson. The 2-minute drill. I mean, you knew that he was going to bring them back. So it didn't matter. And then when they lost, it was just it just killed you. It's like Roger lost.
Yeah.
He lost.
Can't happen.
In the Super Bowl when they played the Steelers all those times. And I'm like, that was really bone crushing for us because we thought they were the best team in football at that time. And then the Steelers go in there with Terry Bradshaw and Lynn Swann and John Stallworth and Franco Harris.
The
Steel Curtain defense. And, they beat the Cowboys, which was demoralizing to any Cowboy fan. Because it's like you get to that point, you just expect Tony Dorsett to rip off a 75-yard run or Robert Newhouse or, Drew Pearson, and Butch Johnson or, Tony Hill. I can name all those Cowboy great teams, and they came up short.
Was there a game when they played in the playoffs, and I think in Minneapolis, where somebody threw a liquor bottle from the stands and hit the referee or something?
Yeah, you know what? Mark, I was a kid at that time. I didn't, just because you were drinking in a bar doesn't mean everybody knew what liquor was when we were children. Yeah. Mark grew up in a bar. Yeah, the rest of us, you were drinking milk and Kool-Aid. Okay,
he was sick.
Ernie Johnson always talks about the mean streets of Milwaukee. I know what he's talking about.
You see Mark like, hey bartender, give me another brew, please. Yep. He's like 5 years old.
And
like wow,
and a shot too.
Yeah, give me a shot. I'll chaser. I'll take a chaser. Yes, I'll take a chaser.
Hey, my dad was watching the game. He was busy.
And some smokes. Yeah.
I'll have the usual bartender. Oh, here's our little friend Mark Schnowski. Well, it's the first 6-year-old in America that's in a bar. Wow.
First Marky Mark.
In Milwaukee, I was not the first. That's definitely not the first.
It was a daycare. It was a daycare. There was a children in a bar's daycare. Like 20 kids in there drinking beer and eating pretzels.
They were so well behaved, though.
They were. They didn't get out of hand.
They were drunk, but
they didn't get out of hand. They were asleep. Little kids, they fall asleep. Mark,
forget about daycare. That's the way you took care of your kids back then.
Wow. That is pretty impressive, though. I will admit, Mark, that's a great freaking story.
We learned a little more about Mark.
Yeah, Mark keeps a little bit out there. Don't show everything to us, and occasionally get a couple of brews in him. Yeah, we get him open. We get him to open up here, at the Gimme the Hot Sauce studios.
Those were interesting times.
Mr. Straight Lace, Mr. Clark Kent.
It's got to be time for a New England story from Stinger, right?
Yeah, Stinger.
Yeah. Oh. You gotta make me go there, huh?
Yeah.
Rondo.
By the way,
Tom Brady, TB7.
I was at Super Bowl 12, 35-31 Steelers. Jackie Smith, the tight end they brought in, Roger Staubach.
What year, John?
1977. And,
he was 6.
And I remember I was sitting in the end zone and a guy had a cigarette and I had those painter's pants. Remember those painter's pants?
Yeah.
Those white. And he flicked the cigarette on my chair because the guy had a TV and we're all looking at the TV for.
Did you burst into flames?
I got a big cigarette hole, but. Roger
Did this
Staubach,
stay?
Wait a minute, John.
Roger Staubach was a stand-up guy because he said he could have punted the ball in there. Everybody wanted to blame Jackie Slater because he wasn't a lifelong
Man,
Cowboy.
I don't want to hear that bullshit.
Wow.
Jackie Slater dropped a touchdown that would have gave the Cowboys the win.
I had a good
Let's
view
get back to your stained pants.
Man, don't even listen. Jackie Slater couldn't even come to anybody's school and talk.
Yeah.
The kids wouldn't want to jump on him.
Listen, I lived that with Bill Buckner in '86, but I go. There's a lot of grew up.
Was that 70? When was that? 77.
77. Yeah.
So how old are you?
Oh,
Because I was 10.
Well,
I was 10 years old in 77.
I'm 54. So
I'm 54. What are you talking about?
So am I. What's happening here?
I was 11.
The line is
So you
moving.
were working? Were you at the game or were you working the game? Were you working the game?
you're older than
First production.
I wasn't working. I was running cable. No, I was with my dad. My dad was running cable.
I thought it was
running cable.
I was getting ready to say, like, okay, was it a sweatshop? Because how old is John's? About the same age as I am. He's 11 years old working a Super Bowl game.
John's been working all his life.
So this is why John is with this Emmy Award winner, because he was doing this at 11 years old.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to go to college. He got enough training as an 11-year-old.
As a boy genius. As a boy genius.
Can we get back to my Red Sox story?
Yeah, go ahead.
The boy Jesus.
So 1978, as you remember, the Red Sox had a huge lead, like 14-game lead going into August. The massacre happened. The Yankees.
That was
came
Bucky
all,
fucking Den, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man.
They came all the way back, and they had an extra game.
Well, that's what it's
Little late.
referred to as.
Yeah, yeah. And so
vernacular.
they had an extra game, and we all got to go home from school early.
Mike Torres.
Mike Torres. That's right.
Look
Mike
at
Torres.
look at Mark.
Yeah, that's right. Mike
He's not even a Red Sox
Yeah.
fan. He's
Feel like Les Grobstein all of a sudden.
oh, the Grobber. Shout out to the Grobber.
Yeah.
But anyways, everybody knows how the outcome of that.
I don't
story
remember
was.
how did
I'm not gonna tell you, but I mean, I
Did
just
they
remember.
win?
I already wrecked it for him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I just remember.
Rondo came in.
Rondo came in the bottom of the ninth and threw a no hitter.
Anyways, got home early from school.
And then he went to the Boston game and scored 30.
And he was 6'2".
I'm a boy genius.
Be nice. Be nice.
Wow, this is deteriorating.
Let's just move
This is
on.
what happens when I'm late.
Yeah,
Apparently.
yeah,
There's
yes.
no adult supervision.
It's a great line from Anchorman. That
It's the
escalated
Riesling.
quickly.
Susan,
Riesling.
what story do you?
Yeah, you got
remember?
a story from the South Side, White Sox?
I grew up a White Sox fan,
Yeah.
and Bill Veeck was the master of,
Promotion?
gimmicks and
Eddie
promotion.
Goodell.
And they used to give you
Disco Demolition Night?
they used to give you free tickets for every A you got on your report card.
Nice.
And I went to a Catholic school, and we got a lot of grades. And so when our report cards would come in the mail, my brothers would wait for it, and they would take my report card and they would fill it out, and they would get White Sox tickets.
With
And-
your grades.
with your
Oh yeah.
grades.
Oh, that ain't right.
And so we
No.
spent a lot of time in center field. It was awesome.
Until what though?
With the shower out there?
Yeah.
Well, we never lasted a whole game usually because, you'd get peed on and my dad
yeah,
would
we've
make us
heard that
leave.
Oh, wow. For real?
Or there were shenanigans in
Was
the
that a
shower.
promotion?
They pulled R.
Yeah.
Kelly? They pulled R. Kelly? Oh, my God.
Yeah,
What's going on out
you
there?
could go through the schedule and you'd pick like, I want a bat. It was bat night or, hat night.
Yeah.
You'd pick like the best
They
gifts.
stopped at night because people were getting hurt.
Yeah. Oh, well,
when
no,
did-
they had bat night on the south side.
When was the little Eddie Goodell?
In the 50s.
when they put it like 3'6".
Yeah, 3'6". Yeah.
That was
Could you
Bill Beck.
imagine?
That was Bill Beck.
Could you imagine
Bill Beck was
trotting this guy
awesome.
out there as a designated hitter? Was he a designated hitter at the
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, they
And you
were.
bring
Well,
him
there
out
was no
there.
DH. He was just pinch
Just
hitter.
pinch
I'm gonna look
hitter.
him up.
Was he like 4 foot tall? Like in the strike zone's about like the size of a peanut.
Bill Beck was awesome.
Yeah.
I heard. I wasn't born and raised here in Chicago, but I hear a lot of stories about how he
couldn't
kind of
beat it.
changed the game as far as entertainment is
The master
concerned.
promoter.
He was like, you couldn't beat it. So that's my south side story.
Man, that's impressive, Susan. All those A's, you got all those free tickets, and your
Yep.
brothers are making D's and C's, and they used you.
Yep.
Whispers, what do you got? You got a favorite childhood story rooting for a team?
Oh, man. So, of course, it's all Chicago teams, but when I was a kid, my dad dragged me all over the country for car shows.
Oh my gosh.
And we'd be in Toledo a few times, and there was this team called the Mud Hens.
Oh, Toledo
Toledo
Mud
Mud
Hens.
Hens, yeah.
Right across from a Ramada, which is probably a Hyatt now because there's no Ramadas anymore. But nonetheless, when that movie came out, Major League, remember that one?
Yep.
yeah.
Says, gotta go with some white walls in their line. I'll get back in a moment. that was an iconic moment for me.
Look at John's face.
It kind of always, yeah.
John's like, what did he say?
Well, when they asked him if he wanted to coach the Indians after he had been coaching the Mud Hens.
Is that like some French fried potatoes?
And French fried taters.
Well, the show has gone completely off the rails.
The
But I did it.
Titanic has hit an iceberg.
No, but I had
we're
a
going
Mud-
down slowly.
I had a Mud Hens t-shirt for like 10 years.
We started
I love
out
that
with a
t-shirt.
heartfelt story about growing up in the bars in Milwaukee, and we end
up
with
on
a
this.
bad
Horrible.
impression from Major League.
Oh my God. That he's still not done talking about.
I got a guy with white walls in the line.
I need to get some hash browns and
Telling Burgess
eggs.
Meredith.
Oh, mammy.
So Eddie Goodell, 1951.
So we're going back to this.
Eddie Goodell.
One at bat, one walk.
He got on base.
Yeah, 1950.
That was
That's
just, he had one
strike
bat.
zone. Come
Yeah,
on.
Look it up, America.
Look it up, America.
That's a career.
3'7". He weighed 65 pounds.
Wow.
He was born on my birthday, 8/19.
Wow.
Coming up soon.
That makes
So he's
perfect
got
sense.
that going for him,
There you go.
which is nice. Wow. Hey, you got some rifles loaded up? Can we do rapid fire?
Oh,
here?
my
You need to
God.
be shot right now.
Hey, the Major League trading deadline coming up on July 30th, and everything must go for the Chicago Cubs. It's been crazy. They've already traded Jock Peterson to the Atlanta Braves for a minor league prospect, and now there's talk they're going to trade Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Javier Baez, Craig Kimbrell. Everything must go. This is a sad end to a team that won the World Series in 2016.
Should have won too.
Are you serious? All those they're going to get rid of.
They're going to get rid of all those guys if they can,
rid
if
of
they can get some
Javier.
kind of return. Otherwise, they'll leave as free agents at the end of the year.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah,
It just seems like, listen, it took so long, Cub
only 108
fans,
years
to get a title.
Yeah,
Break the curse of Bartman, the GOAT. You know, all those things that was the curse.
They did it, though.
And they did it. And now you're just going to destroy that team.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
there's always next year.
I'm just going to say this. Cub fans, you have to excuse me, okay? America. Why the hell are we talking about the Cubs? Let's talk about the White Sox.
Oh, yeah,
Southside.
Let's talk about the White Sox. Yeah.
Sox. They are on a roll. Let's do it, baby.
The White Sox are running hot, and I think they're going to make some additions before the trade deadline.
And they are in Milwaukee next.
Yeah, big
this
series.
weekend, and
Stinger's going to be directing
maybe
that series.
Stacy can come up and go to a game.
Leave the funeral and go to the wedding.
He only goes as far as Joliet. I'm not sure he's going to make it to Milwaukee.
Keep that on the down low.
We jump segments. We jump segments all of a sudden.
I've been trying
America.
to get you to come up.
America. I may have to come up to the White Sox and Milwaukee game. You know,
Sunday night baseball.
Are you inviting me over
Yes,
to
I'm
stay?
formally
Sunday night
invited.
Can I
baseball
stay at
game.
the,
Yeah, she's got to stay overnight. He's not
Can I
driving
stay at
back.
the
Donald,
Walsh Manor?
Yeah,
Yes.
Sunday
have
night
room?
baseball.
You have
We go
room?
Sunday.
Okay, I may have to do that.
Should I bring ribs?
Yes, please. Yep, everybody's welcome.
Yeah,
You know, they
you're
used to
welcome
call
too, Timmy.
they used to call the Brewers' home field Miller Park North,
I know.
or Wrigley
Yes,
Field
yes.
North.
Wrigley Field North.
Yeah.
Wrigley Field. I used to
But
come up
now
here.
with the White Sox coming up
Yep,
there, do you
it's-
think the White Sox will bring as many fans as the Cubs did to
No.
Milwaukee?
No way.
No.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
How are the,
Why is that?
Why is that?
Well, first of all, you've got this guaranteed rate field that you need to sell out first, right? And it's on the south side where Wrigley, it's hard to get a ticket for
That's
Wrigley.
Right,
cool.
right.
Yeah,
On
and
the north
Brewers,
side.
the Brewers, they like White Sox fans. Like
They
they're-
do?
Yeah, I mean they don't hate.
Well,
them
they
like,
used to be harsh rivals back when
yeah.
they were both
yeah,
in the
but
American
not
League.
now. Like now it's all
yeah.
Cubs. You
Get
know?
ready.
Yo-
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun series.
How are the Brewers doing?
Oh,
First
they're
place?
They're in first place, 6.5 games up.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, that's impressive.
Stacey hasn't picked up the newspaper.
No, I don't.
They look good, Stacey.
America, I'm just going to tell you something, America, okay? I'm only following the White Sox. That's all I'm concerned with
That's
right
right.
now.
He says with
I'm
his Yankee hat
Yeah,
on.
and listen, you know what, Susan, you come in here,
get
you're
ready for some
Southside,
National League
You're
baseball.
Southside, and you come in here with a Milwaukee, Giannis shirt on.
That's true.
Get ready for the Brew Crew.
Just
King.
today. Just today.
The Brew Crews, they're not.
Craig Counsell, you got a great rotation. Get ready.
Yeah. Hey, what do you make of this whole your mean Mercedes thing? He put out an Instagram post saying he was done.
Yeah, say he's done.
And now he's back the next day.
No.
He's back.
Is he under
He's
contract?
back.
Is
I
it-
think
is
Tony
it-
La Russa got a hold of him and said, you know what, you got a chance maybe to be brought back in September. Don't quit now, because if you quit now, you're never coming back.
What is his reasoning?
I think he was hurt personally because he had that great. Remember April? He was
Yeah,
the
he was
talk
on, yeah.
at baseball. He was on posters and billboards and all the rest of it. Then he struggled in May, terrible in June. They sent him down to the minors, and he wasn't doing that well in the minors either. And I think he looked at the fact that he's 27, 28, and he thought, I'm never going to get back.
Let me go into the bubble up folder because there was a great article by NBC Sports in there.
But while he looks that up, he felt like the team did him wrong, that he showed enough early in the season that he did not deserve to be sent down to the minors. So, it's tough for a professional athlete. As you know, if you feel like you're in a certain situation and somebody says, you got to go back to the minor leagues, that's a big blow to the ego.
Well, I mean, you got to leave your ego at the door when you're trying to win a championship. The White Sox have the ability, if they can stay healthy, if their pitching stays healthy, they got a chance to go deep and make a run for a title. So if you earlier on you were on a tear, okay, and then you went through a slump for a couple of months, basically what they're saying is like, hey, look, we've got to bring some other players up here to see if they can get going. We'll send you down to the minors to work on your swing, get your confidence back. And if you show us down there that you're back, then we'll bring you back up. That's all that is. But when you're letting this get to you and impact the way you approach the game, the way you think, then you're not gonna have any success because you're worrying about things you can't control. The only way you're gonna get back is to show them that you are out of the slump and you're back to hitting and you're doing the things you were doing early that made you, a success.
Yeah, but I heard he was talking to Rondo.
Oh, here we go.
This guy here.
Speaking of which, so he's hitting 150 in his final 31 games, right?
Yeah, he was terrible.
And getting back to King's point, to the NBA, Chris Middleton was sent down to the G League at one point.
He
He
was
played for the
traded.
Mad Ants.
Yeah, Mad Ants.
So, like you said, his quote, he said, it's over. I walk away from baseball for a while. God bless you. It's over.
Yeah, but you know what though? Somebody, whoever his agent is, this is why social media is so bad for certain people. Yep. Because you feel like some of these people feel like they got to get out there and just pour their heart out and let everybody know, and woe is me, feel sorry for me. First of all, you're a professional athlete. You make a lot of money. Even if you're on the low end of the money making, you make more than most America. So you're not going to get that sympathy. Okay, work on your craft, get better, find out why you're struggling. Focus in on that and help your team win a title. Get back and get ready for the playoff run. Use that time in the minor leagues to work on your swing, correct whatever needs to be corrected. And then when they see you batting 350 and hitting, 6-7 home runs and you got 30 RBIs in a month, they say, hey, look, he looks like he's back. His confidence is back. And they bring him up. But see, these kind of guys like him are looking at it as being a slight on them. It's looking like, oh, they don't have any confidence.
It happens.
It happens all the time. All the time.
Right.
In every level. It doesn't matter. NFL, the NBA, it doesn't matter. It happens to everybody. So you just got to suck it up, man it up, and look in the mirror. That's the hardest thing for athletes to do, is when they're struggling, they want to kind of blame everybody else. Mm-hmm. It's so-and-so's fault. It's so-and-so's fault. This, da, da. But at the end of the day, you got to look at that mirror and say, am I doing everything I'm doing? Look at my stats. I'm batting 150 the last 31 at bats. Yeah, it's on me. It's not Tony La Russa. Tony La Russa's not out there swinging for you. You're out there swinging that bat. You're 150 in your last 31 attempts. That's on you, bro.
And the White Sox, we talked about the trade deadline and the possible repercussions for the Cubs. The White Sox are looking to add, maybe in the bullpen, maybe add one more bat, but they're going to get Eloy Jimenez and Luis Robert back, who are on rehab assignments right now, and that's going to be really kind of like adding 2 impact bats to your lineup for the stretch run.
Yeah, when you get everybody back healthy, that's huge for the White Sox, and so they're getting healthy at the right time. What if they go out there and make a trade and grab somebody from the Cubs?
They might.
Like a Rizzo,
at the Cubs games.
Like a Rizzo or a Bryant that can play multiple positions. Outfield, infield. Wouldn't that be something?
No, yeah.
That would be, boy. That would be sticking it right to the Cubs, basically. Like,
Cubs fans are still dying over that Quintana trade where they got Eloy and Dylan Cease.
Yeah, you're giving up. Like I said, I believe that when Theo Epstein was here, the one thing I think people don't realize about Theo Epstein, the Cubs minor league system was in shambles before they got here, before that group got in here. They had nobody because they got rid of all their talent, and they went and got Sorianos and all these people that, these past their prime type players, and they had no minor league system, and then they got it rebuilt, and you got Rizzo coming in, Bryant, all these guys coming in, and they're homegrown talent. And they were brought up, and you won a World Series with them.
Right.
They're not, in my opinion, they're not that far off to being good again. It's certain things they need. Spend the money the right way. How you going? Seriously, like Rizzo, they can let Rizzo go?
Well, just to
he's got a bad back.
They started a new network, and so they've,
How's that going for him?
I'm just saying. They didn't take the money from NBC. They could have taken, I don't know how much.
Again, how's that going for him?
I never really watched it. How's that channel?
Not well.
It's not doing well. Yeah. I never watched. Honestly, I don't watch a lot of the Cubs.
Yeah, and now they're going for another 5-year rebuild.
Yeah, now how's that going to work for your network?
Goodbye, America.
Yeah. They may be calling for us to broadcast their game from Zoom. It's like, hey, Gimme the Hot Sauce. Can you guys bring us out?
Gimme the Hot Sauce can fill a hole in the program today.
We'll put you on. We'll put you on our program.
We've kind of torpedoed that before.
Yeah. You can't talk shit about it and then try to come and then try to get
but we'd love to work for your network.
We killed you, but we want you to come back.
We didn't really mean it.
We'll broadcast your games off of Zoom and the Gimme the Hot Sauce studios.
We have to reduce the staff. I get it.
We got to get rid of a couple people, but hey, we'll do it. Whatever it takes.
You got one more rifle shot?
I do.
These Summer Olympic Games begin in Tokyo. Woo! You guys excited? No fans? They already began. The U.S. women's soccer team that had won 44 straight games lost to Sweden 3-0. But, Stacey, the thing that's great about the Olympics is the excitement with the fans and the world coming together. Everyone's so paranoid, and understandably because of the COVID risk, but they've basically undercut the whole premise of the games, which is to bring the world together.
Well, I tell you what, man, COVID has really, really just affected everything that everybody does. Now, I will say this. Now with the vaccinations out there, people, whether you strongly are for it or against it, man, you need to get vaccinated. I mean,
you lost a friend.
Yeah, I just lost a friend this weekend who, who's I went to college with and been friends with for over 30 years. And, we used to tell him, because he travels a lot, as a business owner. And, we'd always tell him, like, hey, get vaccinated, get vaccinated. You're always in the airport. You're always in these different places. And he didn't want to. Just, no, I don't believe in it. The government's doing this. Or, all these theories that they're reading online. And then he ends up getting COVID. And he didn't even know he had it. Like, for a week, he didn't even know he had it. And then the last day that he had it, he was having a hard time breathing. And then when he went in, then he realized it was that new one that he got out in California, the Delta, whatever that name is called out there. What is it called, Tim?
Delta variant. Yeah.
Delta variant, which they're now trying to make a booster for. Right.
Yeah, there's going to be the J variant. I'm not saying that funny. It's going to come out of the Olympics. Will come out.
Really?
Well, sure. They've already had over 70 cases of confirmed COVID.
And that's why, honestly, like, I would not have even sent anyone over there if I was the United States. Seriously.
But it
how about these NBA players going over there?
Here's the dilemma with all this. Okay, we're talking about how the season started, and how this year's season is going to run into the season. If they're having an October start date. That is going to be extremely tough on the players.
2 months they're starting again.
It's like the bubble again.
It's extremely tough because you went in December, which, you started in December because of COVID, and you've got the 72 games in, and then, your star players were missing a lot of games during that, and there's nothing you can do about that. When you go into COVID protocol, it is what it is, okay? But at the same time, when you looked at the playoffs, the most exciting time of the NBA season, you got your star players that are not healthy and ready to play. And so, you're missing LeBron and Anthony Davis and Jamal Murray and all these guys who are big time. Kawhi Leonard, of course, those wasn't due to COVID. Those were actually muscular injuries and they just were banged up.
Because the season's
overlapping. So when you look at, now we got the Olympics, we're sending, 12, 14 guys over to the Olympics. They're not going to get done until probably September. And then you got to turn around and start up another season in October and then try to get back on the regular schedule.
It's crazy.
I'm a big fan of starting into December and doing away with the early start in October, because the fact that you're competing against college football and the NFL. And if you start in December, which is the marquee games anyway. Christmas days are the marquee games. So, what you could do in that sense is say, okay, we're going to start Christmas Day. We'll have some preseason games in December, but, start of the season will be Christmas days. And then you have everybody play on Christmas, and you have your marquee games on TV. Whatever, if the Lakers or whoever, the marquee teams, Milwaukee, who obviously will be on there, those teams would play in the marquee games, the television games. And then the teams that are not winning, the teams that didn't make the playoffs, those teams would have Christmas Day games for their fans as well. So, and you can accomplish a lot more, and you don't have to rush, because this year they had to rush a little bit because of the Olympics. They had to rush to kind of put games together, try to give enough time between the end of the finals to the Olympics, which they really ran pretty close. Those guys just got off, who was it? Booker, Middleton. And who's the third guy?
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday.
And they have to take a flight together. That's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah, I can see Devin Booker sitting in the back of the plane, not talking to the other two guys. He's
got his headphones on. I don't want to talk to him.
He's got his beats on and he can't hear you. Noise canceling.
But at the end of the day, as far as that goes with the Olympics, would you say it hurts the support or the competition? Because I would say the competition stays the same. Athletes want to compete. You can answer that.
It's different with no fans, though.
Of course, listen, the players will even tell you, being in the arenas with no fans was very difficult on everybody. Even as a broadcaster, because myself, I can just speak for myself. I can't speak for every broadcaster, but for me, I love the energy of the crowd. Even though I got my headset on, the energy of the crowd gets me pumped up and gives me energy to do what I do. And as a player, I've been in that situation as a player, understanding, when you're down 10 in the crowd, you hit a couple of buckets, the crowd gets back in the game. All of a sudden now your whole energy level comes up. So when there's nobody in the arena, you have to manufacture your own energy. You have to manufacture your own, your energy to get yourself back in the games. That's very difficult to do. And you saw in the finals when you saw full arenas like Phoenix Arena. They've been letting people in the arenas for a long time. They had a lot of fans at there. I don't know how many was there.
Oh, it was a sellout, but they were saying like the noise level at Pfizer Forum, it was unlike, they couldn't hear the whistles. The guys that I know that worked, they said never seen anything, never heard anything like it. How loud it was.
They never been to the old stadium or
United Center. No, the old stadium was something else.
They've never been there, brother. They never seen that kind of. Well, you could be standing next to somebody talking to them and you couldn't hear them. You'd be like, what? Like, we're doing a single double, and the guys are talking. It would be so loud in there. You literally could be standing in front of somebody talking to them, and they could not hear you. So you almost had to get some sign language.
Hand signals.
Yeah. But I'm telling you though, with this, the NFL's having this problem now. Like, I saw where the Dallas Cowboys, there's this big thing where the Dallas Cowboys some of the guys are not taking the vaccinations. And then, you see some of their players talking, a lot of people talking about how could you not do that, knowing that, if you don't have this vaccination, the chance of you getting something and spreading to other people is very, very high. And so they're taking a lot of flack for it.
And the NFL said today that the teams may have to forfeit games if unvaccinated players cause a spread within the team.
And listen, like I said, there's a lot of propaganda, about the vaccinations and people not believing in it. I mean, that's why I tell people stay offline. Stay off the internet, because you got a lot of crackpots out there that are making money off people, and those same
ways.
And some of those people who are telling you not to do it, they got vaccinated. We're finding out that some of these people who are promoting not getting the vaccination got vaccinated, and so they're telling people, and people are listening to them.
Don't get vaccinated.
Don't get vaccinated. Yeah, it's sad. It's because listen. Think about with this new variant that's coming out here now. Like, it's going to be way stronger than the initial. COVID came out.
There'll be one after that.
And there's going to be another one after that. So it's like, man, like I have to admit, like getting the vaccination, I was skeptical at first.
And Tim tried to skip the line.
Yeah, he tried to.
I got a third shot.
Yeah.
I got a third shot.
So
a third shot?
Yeah.
So I got a booster on my booster.
No, he did. He's lying.
Yeah, because he brought me back through again. The King's like, that guy tried to cheat.
Yes.
I had to go back.
So
hit my other arm.
Get stitches. Yeah.
But I was kind of skeptical on the vaccination. But I will say this, America, ever since I've gotten the vaccination, we can still get COVID. Okay.
Yeah.
But I like my chances when it says you're a 90% chance that you may not get it, to 0 chance that you will get it. You know what I'm saying?
Or that you'll survive.
That you'll survive. Yes. Yeah. And I feel so much more comfortable, honestly. And I still wear my mask.
You just became more confident. You started to dance better.
Oh shit.
I mean, you started to dress better. I mean, everything changed.
Wow. But what I'm saying before I was really interrupted by the man who's just throwing himself in the projection.
30 years of abuse.
30 years of abuse. What I'm saying is, America, is with the vaccination, I personally feel a lot safer walking around and doing things. I still wear my mask. I don't go out into like big, venues. Like I had somebody invite me to go to the little deer thing, the little deer playground, wherever y'all call that. What is it called?
The Deer District.
The Deer District. I had somebody say, "Oh, come up to the Deer District." I was like, "Nah, man, that's just COVID screaming."
Hell no.
It's COVID. COVID's like, "Come on up, come on up."
That's the deer variant.
Come on up to Deerville and catch it. Come on. And I'm like, nah, I can't do it, bro.
Because I'm not Giannis.
That's too many people. It's too many people up there. And that's too many people in one area. Like they're all elbow to elbow. That's just too many. That's too many people for me. But it looked great on TV though. It looked great on TV. It looked, and all, the people who out there.
You got to remember it's Milwaukee. They're drinking enough sauce to make sure.
Come on now.
Oh, wow.
Careful with that.
The virus was killed.
Wow.
Hey, as far as transmission, it was reduced by the alcohol consumption. I'm pretty certain of that. There is biological evidence.
Yeah, follow the science. The Tim Kelly science.
Yes, follow
right
the
there.
science, please.
Just be safe out there, America. Be safe.
Be safe. When we hear that kind of craziness from Tim Kelly, I think it's time to bring down the curtain on episode 38. We're going to take it on the down low, but really, the whole show has been on the down low.
It's been really on this. It started with Susan not being on time, and then walking in with a Giannis shirt on.
Spouting profanities right off the
walking
bat.
Around and being on national television with a fanny pack and a dog mom stalking Giannis. Wow. Giannis like, who is this crazy lady out here? I don't know you. What are you doing with the fanny pack?
Who dog mom?
I haven't seen the fanny pack since 1976.
What are you hiding?
Yeah, we can rain on anybody's parade here on Gimme the Hot Sauce. Episode 38 is in the books. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, America.
Make sure to watch, listen, and subscribe on YouTube as well, so you can see all the fun. As we ran out of music, but John's going to start it up again. Way to go, Stinger!
Yeah.
Another Emmy Award is in the books.
Mixing DJ back there.
Stacy, bring it home.
I'm bringing it home, Americans. Remember, get your hot sauce at GimmeTheHotSauce.com. Get all the flavors. And remember, she'll like it too. Drive home safely. Beep, beep.